The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, providing first-class construction services on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. We do it each and every day. And Beef, what are we handing out today, sir?
Today, your last chance. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm drunk. I still got a couple days. I felt like it was Friday.
Yes.
No, not your last chance, but you are going to score a pair of tickets to All Elite Wrestling Dynamite coming up February 3rd at Daly's Place. Tickets are on sale now at AEWTix.com, or stay tuned. You can hear them and win them right here on the drill.
All right, so breaking news out of Knoxville, Danny White, the UCF AD, who's now the Tennessee AD, has hired the UCF coach, who will now be the Tennessee coach. It looks like Josh Heupel will be taking the job. Jeff Prosser, does it concern you that Josh Heupel at UCF went 12-1, 10-3, and then 6-4?
Doesn't concern me. I don't like Tennessee. It would concern me if I were a Tennessee backer. Yeah, sure.
Concern Vol fan.
Yeah, you took over Scott.
That's his head coaching resume.
I wonder if Danny White bothered trying to lure Scott Frost.
I don't know.
I mean, I know Scott Frost has not gotten the job done at Nebraska. I know that. I don't know what kind of leash he has. If it's a lifetime leash, I would suggest Nebraska is in such condition they might want to give a guy a few years to get him turned around. But you know, that UCF sunburst feels like it was all Scott Frost created to me. And then Heupel took over, and he managed it okay, especially the first year. But now, look, the other side of it is that a program like UCF can't sustain that kind of 12-and run. You can't be that every year.
It looks like he's going to get about $4 million annually. He'll have a decent salary pool for a big-name defensive coordinator and a staff that can recruit. He's 28-8 in his 3 seasons as a head coach, has SEC experience from his time at Missouri, plus a decade coaching at Oklahoma. So,
I mean, would you rather have a tired retread or an assistant who's...
And again, Tennessee, who's Tennessee going to get?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the other question.
What are you going to get, Kevin Steele?
Yeah, who wants the Tennessee job at this point? And it's a tough job. It is. It's not... it's one of those jobs where, on paper it looked great.
Look, there's
30 years ago.
There's also this, too. I mean, people say, well, what about, like, Gus Malzahn or Tom Herman?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take guys who failed trying to do what it is they want you to do. And I know Malzahn wasn't a complete failure. He played for a national championship, didn't win it. But Tom Herman certainly did. So he can't win at Texas. I expect him to be able to beat Alabama and Florida and Georgia. Why? Why would I think that?
Yes.
I mean, if you can't build it at Texas, you probably can't build it.
What of UCF fan? Is UCF fan ticked off today?
I continue to believe that UCF fan is an overstated
Forget that
entity.
for a second. And if you're a UCF fan and you've lost your AD,
I think you understand that that's part of the process.
Yeah. I think you're ticked.
Well, you did put a freaking sign up on your stadium, so you don't completely understand football and how the whole thing works. Yeah. But this is how it works.
They do get $6 million in buyout money.
If you're successful at UCF, you move on to a real job.
Yeah.
That may change. It may not always be that way, but I don't see a day unless UCF goes to the grown-up table, jumps in the big boy pool, and gets in the Big Ten or the ACC or the Big 12 or one of these conferences. Until then, they'll never be looked at any more favorably than Cincinnati or Tulsa or any other non-Power 5.
Okay.
But they were a tough out there for about 2 years. They built that program up. A lot of Jacksonville kids. I know there are a lot of Jacksonville's UCF's footprints all over Jacksonville. I'm not trying to be, rude, but the UCF athletic program is going to lose its best to bigger opportunities.
I watched Alabama-Kentucky last night, a good amount of it, and Alabama didn't play particularly well and still beat Kentucky.
Yeah. They're calling it ball and oats up there.
Yeah, very nice. Nate Oates being the head coach. Alabama undefeated in SEC play and swept Kentucky for the first time in 30-some years,
Kentucky
by the way.
is defeated. Is what they are. They're 5-10. The net rankings hate them. They don't have any quality wins. Kentucky's not going to the tournament at all. And this is, I wish that with the same gusto, they kissed the ring, the one of John Calipari, and play him up on NBA draft night and interview him live on signing day as he gushes over the number one recruiting class year after year after year. I wish that with the same gusto it would be reported what an abject failure he has been for the Kentucky basketball program this year. That smugness doesn't fit so well when you're 5-10.
Well, at 5-10, it's still Kentucky, and so you start to say, well, Kentucky get up off the mat. Well, they got Texas next.
Yeah, there is no mat to get up off of. You're 5-10. You cannot make the NCAA tournament. You're 80th in the net rankings. They
still have 2 with Tennessee.
They'll lose both of them. Is the problem.
They have Auburn still on the schedule.
Auburn has struggled this year,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games left in the regular season. 10 games.
At best they'll go 5-5. They're going to be 10-15. The only way Kentucky makes a tournament is if they win the SEC tournament.
Well, if they were 10-15 and won the SEC tournament, would you give them a berth?
Well, if you win, you're in.
Well, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the only way they get in.
Yeah.
No, they cannot get an at-large.
Yeah.
They're not going 10-0 because they're no good. They're going to lose games. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And one thing Kentucky has done, which is also odd and will be frustrating, is they've played better against the better teams. They've beaten Florida. I think they might have even beaten Missouri at home.
Right on the heels of that, Oklahoma knocked off Texas by a point last night. Nice win for Lon's.
No Shaka Smart in that game for Texas.
Yeah,
he's out with COVID protocol.
Correct.
So they didn't have a. What the net rankings, which we're talking semantics here. The RPI is alive and well. It never went anywhere. It's just now official, and it's released every day by the NCAA, and it can give you a roadmap. This isn't as dubious as the RPI, which we knew would be a part of the equation. The net is the equation. It is what they will sit down in front of, not somebody else's power ranking, but the NCAA's itself. And no matter how much or if at all you believe in it, boy, it loves the Gators. It loves it some Florida Gator basketball. It loved Florida Gator basketball last year when it was introduced, and the net rankings love them some Florida Gators, where you will find Florida. Are you ready for this one? Number 24 in the country, according to the NCAA's power ranking of college basketball teams. In case you're wondering, Florida State is 20th.
That's incorrect.
Yeah, well, incorrect or not, that's what the belief will be. It helps when Dan Dockich is doing your game and says, well, there's no doubt this is a tournament team. It's the first time I've seen him.
I don't know this young man, shifting gears here, I at all. I've never interviewed him or met him. The narrative on this guy, though, is, to me, I watched what I'm getting to is I was watching the mic'd up version of the AFC Championship last night.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, man, that's Stephon Diggs. What a great leader for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, they're getting to eavesdrop on how he's handling the sideline.
Oh, my God, dude. He never let up. Let's go. We got this. We can do this the whole game. And at the end, he was the only guy who stayed on the field. They had to go, watch. He watched the celebration. They consoled him, took him off. It's interesting, too. In games like that, it's so, I don't know what the right word is, but there's a lot of grown men, gigantic, masculine dudes crying like little boys after losing like a 9-year-old championship game.
Yeah, it never goes away.
It doesn't go away.
Trust
but anyway,
me, there were men their age all over the country, not even playing, who were doing the same thing.
And jumping off tables.
Buffalo Tom, maybe he cried. I haven't gotten an update.
Have you talked to Buffalo Tom?
I have.
Was he okay?
I give him 48 hours after those games. I don't.
That's a tough one.
I tried to get him yesterday and went straight to voicemail. I didn't leave a message.
Yeah, understood.
I'm assuming that there's no. 2 feet aren't sticking up out of the bottom of the St. John's under the Buckman.
Let's hope not. But I mean, if you're Stephon Diggs was tremendous throughout that game.
What a pickup he was.
Well, I mean,
and you wonder, was it going to be a good?
Much.
Yeah, was it going to be a good pickup because Josh Allen isn't real, accurate? He wasn't coming into the season.
Yeah.
So was that going to be kind of a combustible mix with a guy who's going to demand the ball? But no, Diggs, I think he loves being the number one option, and so he'll be fine there.
Other NFL news: Les Snead, hardly a ringing endorsement for Jared Goff. Did you see that one?
Well, I saw enough with Sean McVay and what he said. So no, what did the GM?
Basically, and it was like uncomfortable. He's a Ram at this moment.
Okay.
Oof.
What, are you going to just flat out release him, you think?
No, but I thought that was interesting. And by the way, I also noticed, and it's more quiet because nobody cares because, like, you disappear in L.A., but I think our friend Jalen went to the Gram and put out a little little endorsement for Deshaun to come to L.A. and not necessarily New York. Is that correct?
There was a photo of Deshaun, and
Yes.
Jalen commented, "It looks like an L.A. man to me."
Yeah.
See, again, there's Jalen. This is the kind of jackass teammate this guy is.
Well, that's fair. I mean, he's just never going to change.
Extra quarterback
I
in your
know.
roster, you
Like
Jack
I'll
White.
give you a tale of
What a
two teammates.
jerk.
Mojo, whom I love and I don't always agree with, would defend his quarterback to the nth degree. And one time we were talking at he was at a charity function, and I caught him beforehand, and we were just shooting it back and forth. And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "What do you want me to say? Those are my guys. I can't. Those are the guys I go out there." And
Jalen
he was
doesn't-
right.
yeah.
Jalen don't see it that way.
No. And
But
it's
like
right, and it messes
Mojo would
teams up.
Understand who Mojo would defend now.
Yes.
Some of these
Blaine
monks that we-
Gabbert. Yeah.
Mr. Backwards Throw himself.
Yeah.
So, he's night and day from Maurice Jones-Drew, who was the Jaguars running back and so good for so long. Jalen already starting to beat the drum for a new quarterback. And, I don't know. It's just but anyway, I wonder what's going to happen in L.A. Like, they have no first-round pick this year, so they don't have much to play with. It would be great if they traded maybe Jalen to Houston for Deshaun Watson.
Could you imagine?
We've traded Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald to Houston and a future first-rounder for Deshaun Watson.
That'd be funny if somebody just flipped the script on an athlete who posted like that. Oh, you think he should come here? Yeah, we're going to trade you for him. All right, well, we'll just finish with clearly there'll be a lot of eyes
Yes, sir.
Tonight on Atlanta, Georgia, where
What do we have?
The Hawks host the Brooklyn Nets for the
rights.
for fifth
Bragging
place.
rights.
Fifth place in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta already takes a sterling 1-1 mark against the high-powered Nets into tonight's matchup, but it will be the first time that the Hawks have had to deal with all three of their new power triplets.
Yes. We're in a tailspin. We've fallen out of the top 8.
Atlanta with a win last night over the Clippers. I mean, any night you beat Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, you can hang your hat on that.
Mere game ahead of the Chicago Bulls right now. So there's
Oh,
problems.
well, hold on. The update's coming in. Apparently, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George didn't play last night. Well, anytime you can beat the Clippers, you count it as a win. And I think shocking the world, the sports world, at number 6 in the power ranking. The Bulls on the outside looking in at 7-10. The Knicks have also fallen out of the playoff picture at 8-11.
It's very disheartening. And even worse than that, because I have such high hopes for my baby Blues. The Broadway Blue Shirts are struggling out of the gates and keep blowing leads. The Ruski goaltenders are not performing well enough. We had a 2-zip lead over Buffalo, and we lost 3-2. It's just not good enough.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. Hey, I do want to remind folks, because we had talked about doing that today, and some people have asked.
I reminded them, but we're doing it Friday.
Yeah, we're going to do the run on Friday. We'll do it at 8 o'clock on Friday, so if you can tune in for the latest humiliation and embarrassment of yours truly, then great. Good for you.
17.
I'm glad you can enjoy that.
17 and a half. Hurry.
Oh, no.
Run.
No. All right, we'll see what's trending when we come back on the other side. I'm going to save the Daily's Double Take for the 9 o'clock hour when Daniel Murphy joins us, because I want to kick around again these nebulous Hall of Fame credentials and what exactly a player's got to do to get into that thing. In case you missed it, Major League Baseball yesterday announced their Hall of Fame class of 2021, and that'd be a big goose egg, is what they decided.
It's going to be a weird ceremony.
Yeah, so there is that. It's a CPR Contracting Wednesday, best in the business, full of Hall of Fame efforts there. Go online or to either of their social media pages and see all the great work that CPR Contracting is doing, saving concrete projects all over the state.
Hey, you want to do some wrestling?
Let's do it. Let's. If you want to go to the AEW event, Beef, tell them more. Be the first caller right now at 641-1010.
Caller 1 right now, 641-1010, going to score a pair of tickets to AEW, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, coming up February 3rd at Daly's Place. Tickets are on sale now at AEWTix.com, or like Dan said, be caller number 1 right now, and a pair is yours for the taking.